I'm Angela, a doctor of psychology, and I've lived through a toxic relationship with infidelity. We're talking about what happens when you're dating and you met someone new. You have this past with so much toxicity that are now kind of just getting triggered again by this new person you've just met, a new partner or potential partner. So, this is the situation where you met someone kind, someone who makes no threats, no mind games, no silent treatment, but instead of relaxing and enjoying the ride, the feeling of getting all newly in love, you're panicking. Instead of feeling those butterflies, you feel fear. You're guarded, you're anxious, you're on edge. So, why does this new relationship evoke all these sensations in you and make this new, potentially wonderful relationship feel so wrong, so uncomfortable? And still, the old relationship you had felt so familiar, even though that was so toxic. So, if you've lived in a toxic relationship that's over and the years have passed, you might be surprised to discover that this old wound that you thought was healed is now wide open again. In this video, I'm going to talk about what happens when you enter a new relationship or you perhaps just start dating, how that can trigger you in an awful way, just evoke these old sensations, emotions, and make you feel so unsafe again. Or maybe even worse, you decide to never date again because your experiences are way too heavy. Kind of get over, even though I know that you can. And no, you don't need to date and you don't need to find a new partner. But let's not the wrong reason kind of stop you from meeting people. Because what if the love of your life is out there waiting for you and you've just decided to shut that door for all future? So here we're going to talk about what happens, what it means, and how to move forward from the wounds from your past relationship so that you actually can dare meeting new people again, even though the new relationship or just dating awakens old wounds. So why does the old trauma show up in this new situation with a new person? The thing that happens is that when you've been in a toxic relationship, there might have been betrayal, manipulation, emotional control. Your body stores that experience. Your nervous system learns that love is unpredictable, intimacy isn't safe. You kind of need to stay alert even when things seem calm. So your emotional and mental programming is that love equals stress. So when someone new shows up with a calm energy, a safe aura, like, doesn't feel comforting. It feels odd, foreign, even scary, because you are programmed to feel that way, which is completely logical. There's nothing strange with this. There's nothing wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? And this precise phenomena is called trauma reactivation. It's very common. And according to research on PTSD and attachment trauma shows that safe situations can actually feel dangerous for us because they trigger these old wounds, our stored emotional memories, not logic. So what happens is that you might flinch at their touch. You might feel anxious about being vulnerable because that's been used against you. Being open, sharing your feelings might have been kind of held against you. You might catastrophize just normal things like, what if his kindness is just all fake? So the problem isn't the new relationship, it's rather the echoes of the old one. So if you relate to what I'm talking about and you feel like, well, that's me, what is there to do? Well, if I would be you, I wouldn't back off completely. I would rather take it step by step. I would expose myself gradually to these new situations, to this new person. And I'm convinced that with time, something will happen. You're going to start training your nervous system. You're going to stop seeing dangers in the safe places. And I'm sure you're going to slowly begin to feel safe again. And it will take time. It's not always going to be easy. You're healing to find yourself again. Yep, we should take time to heal, but you will not heal completely until you are exposing yourself to a new person, to a new relationship, because that's when the wounds are gonna get triggered. Not when you're sitting in your living room by yourself watching your favorite TV series. The healing's gonna begin on this completely new level whenever you start dating again. The next level of healing is going to kickstart whenever you meet a person, your heart's opening up, the butterflies are there. That's when the hardcore healing is gonna begin. That is how it was for me while recovering from my toxic past, my toxic relationship, and entering a new one. And I've heard so many questions about, like, if this new relationship is triggering me so much, shouldn't I just stop? Here's my answer, because this was true for me, and it is no. If you see that what you have in front of you is a good person, this means that what you are triggered by is your old relationship wounds, the luggage you are carrying around. So just avoiding relationships and dating at all, that's not a solution, because avoidance usually keeps the trauma alive. But gentle, consistent, step by step exposure to your trauma, like being with a good partner, can truly help you heal. And this, what I'm just telling you, it's something that's supported by trauma research, prolonged exposure, and what's called somatic experiencing. This research shows that healing doesn't happen in isolation, it happens in the presence of safety. So, no, don't force yourself, but also don't hide forever. So, if you're in a new relationship, these are the steps I would give you. You're right now in the situation of your old wounds, your old trauma reawakening. Here are some ways to move forward. Number one, talk to your new partner. Let them know that you've been through pain and that your reactions, they're not about them. And a good partner won't take this personally. A good partner will see it for what it is. So this first step is something that can reveal a red or a green flag in our new potential partner. If they take it the right way, wonderful. It's a green flag. Congratulations. Number two, go slow but stay open. So let this new relationship unfold at a pace that feels sustainable. You're kind of allowed to pause, but you keep walking and talking. Number three, notice what's real versus what's imagined. And do ask this question repeatedly. Is this fear about him, or is it about what I've lived through? And number four, seek support, therapy, coaching, journaling, because you probably need to process the fear that you are feeling, the trauma reactivation, to process it somewhere outside the relationship, not just inside it. And number five, celebrate. Celebrate the progress. Every step you take into safety is one step forward. Being able to stay the night, which originally might have felt impossible, daring to open up emotionally, daring to share your feelings, your fears without being gaslighted, and just being present. All this counts. So, yes, entering a new relationship, it truly can feel painful, but not because it's wrong, because healing is messy, it's tough, it requires a lot of patience, it takes time. And if your new relationship reawakens your old trauma, don't panic and don't run, but rather stay curious, stay connected to this new person, and stay kind to yourself. Don't force it, but be open and transparent, because you're not just entering something new, you're kind of unlearning what once hurt you. You're retraining your nervous system to recognize love again. And please do not hinder to stop you from keeping your eyes open for whatever's out there because of your past relationship. That would be one of the worst things you could do to yourself. So please don't do it. So if this video spoke to you, I'd love to hear in the comments. How was it for you to make yourself open for something new again? Was it hard? Was it easy? What's been hardest in learning to love again? Let's talk about it. This space is for you. And if you want more support in healing, dating, or rebuilding trust in love again, please do subscribe. You don't need to do this alone. Thank you for watching.